Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm doing a update to my project level up. So if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. Before I get into that though, if you're new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button and let's hop into the video. All right, so it is time for another project level up update. This is a project created by Sofie Alexandra. I will link her channel down below as well as all the details you need to know about this project. I said this in my deco panning video, but I'm going to try to not repeat the rules every update, but I'll probably do it anyway. So the rules for this project is basically you have a palette, and if you're on level 1, you need to use all of the shades once, hit pan in one shade. Level 2, use them all twice in 2 pans, and so on and so on. I think most people are stopping at level 5 and then resetting, and I am currently at level 2. So for my level 2 palette, I've been working on It's My Pleasure from Colourpop, and I will pop up a picture of what it looked like when I rolled it in last month, and this is where we are now. So as you can probably tell, I have successfully hit level 2. Well, I guess you don't know that because you don't know how many times I used each shade, but surprise, I have hit level 2. I hit 2 pans. I already had one existing in this palette, and I have used every shade twice. So first up we have Kittenfish, and I hit pan in 2 uses, but I did use it an additional 2 times. So it's still a very, very tiny pan, but pan nonetheless. In the middle row we have Do or Dough, and I used that twice. Then we have Pretty Cruel, and I used that twice. Then I have Bare Minimum, and I used that twice. In the middle, we have Earthshine, and I used that twice. That already had pan in it. This is called Chiclet, but it was actually from the, what was it called? The Gather Round Sisters Hocus Pocus palette. I don't remember what it was called in that palette, but in this palette, it's called Chiclet. I used that twice. Over here, I have Mr. Sandman. I used that 3 times. I hit pan on my second use, though. In the middle, at this top row, we have Fan Fiction. I used that twice. And then we have Sleeper, and I used that shade 4 times. So really happy with the use I got on this palette. So I'm going to pop up some eye looks I did over here, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about my progress on this palette. So overall, I'm really, really happy that I was able to hit 2 pans on this palette so fast. I mean, this is a Colourpop palette, but one was a shimmer. And then the mattes I was targeting in this palette, they had a lot of use on them because I do really, really love this palette. Fan Fiction and Sleeper, these 2 mattes over here, they have decent dips going on them, so I could definitely see myself rolling those shadows into pan those eyeshadows or another project to hit pan on them because they have pretty good dips, especially for Colourpop mattes, and I think I could do it in that way. I would have 2 more pans in this palette. Now, in saying that, I think what I've really learned using this palette for my level 2 palette is that the formula has drastically changed. The mattes are still pretty good, but the shimmers are not as great as I remember them being. Earthshine and Mr. Sandman in particular were always really, really great, really special Colourpop shades. And I'm just noticing they're much more powdery, and they just don't have that punch that I remembered them having. But the mattes are still pretty darn good. This is a palette I could see myself potentially decluttering at the end of the year just because it's old and expired. But this palette has definitely gotten a lot of love. I mean, the pan on Earthshine, I think, says it all. But I'm really glad that I rolled this in, and glad I was able to get a lot of use on it. Hopefully my next palette isn't a Colourpop palette, but so far I've been doing pretty well with them. If you missed my intro, my last palette I was working on was Blowin Smoke, and that was very intimidating, but I managed to do it. It's My Pleasure, so let's see what I get for level 3. So I've got my palettes in Tiny Decisions. This should have all the palettes I'm willing to use in this project. There's a handful of palettes I took out because I just don't want to work on them for one reason or another, but I have the rest in here, and it should be up to date. So let's just roll my level 3 palette. What are we gonna get? Killer Purr. Okay, I'm gonna grab that palette and I will be right back. Alright, so I randomly generated the Menagerie Killer Purr palette to be my level 3 palette. This is what the packaging looks like, and I think it's really cute. I love Menagerie. And I should say they actually have recently updated this palette, and so I will show you my version. This is not the updated palette. The only thing that is different from the original is I swapped out this shade, Lioness, it's called Animal Kingdom. It was their single in Animal Kingdom. I don't know if they still have it. I know they discontinued a bunch of stuff and revamped some stuff, so I don't know if you can still get Animal Kingdom, but it's a beautiful shadow. I do have one pan in this palette over here. This is Maine. I have a couple dips. I have a dip in Cub, this yellow matte, and then I have a dip in this shade, which is Pride. So I definitely think I will target at least those two mattes. The third one will probably be a matte. I mean, there's only two. It is certainly not going to be this shade because I just don't like that metallic. So if it is a metallic, it's going to be this Animal Kingdom shade, but if not, it'll be one of the mattes. I find the mattes in this, so Menagerie is weird because their shadows are extremely, extremely pigmented. You do not need a lot, but at the same time, at least this palette is very, very powdery. So I find that it's actually not that hard to hit pan in some of their palettes. It really depends on the palette, but this one, you know, hitting pan in Maine was not very difficult because it was so powdery. And I already have dips on Cub and Pride, so I think those are a no-brainer. It'll just be a matter of working on the third shade and what it'll be. I think some of these shades are really nice and can pair with like other shadows that I pull into pan those eyeshadows and things like that, so I am excited to work on it. This is a really, really pretty palette. It's like neutral with a few pops, and I really like it, so I am excited to work on it. I'm glad it's not another Colourpop palette, although this does have more shades than a 9 pan, but I don't think I'm gonna have this done next month, but I think I can have at least pan in Cub and or Maine by next month, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how your project level up is going down below if you are participating, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment if you like down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!